Illustrator is an application for creating great-looking artwork. Although Illustrator originally was designed for creating artwork for print purposes, it's just as powerful when it comes to creating web graphics as well. Let's take a look at how easy it is to save graphics for web use. Now, I'm beginning this video with the pluralist.ai file already open on my computer. And before I go into saving our file for web formats, I want to point out a feature that can help you create better looking web graphics. So if you go to the View menu and we choose Pixel Preview, Illustrator added this in more recent versions to help you to preview what your artwork is going to look like when it's saved to a web format, because most web formats are pixel or raster based formats. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn off Pixel Preview for a second, because what I'd like to do is select the artwork on my page, and I'm going to go to the Window menu and choose Transform to open up the Transform panel. And the reason I did that is because if you look down here towards the bottom of this panel, we have an option to align this artwork to the pixel grid. Because with vector-based graphics, we're not at all concerned with aligning our content to a pixel grid. This is vector-based artwork after all. So when we save for the web, our text or our vector-based artwork is going to get mapped to pixels. So what this feature does is it will align our artwork to map to a pixel grid so that none of our pixels, or I should say as few pixels as possible, are going to be half on or half off of a full pixel. So if I turn this option on, you may see a slight shift in your artwork when you do that. And that's Illustrator just moving your artwork to the next closest pixel. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And now if I view and choose Pixel Preview, it's going to show me the artwork as it's mapped to the pixel grid. So that's perfect. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And now we can save this file for the web. So to do that, I'm going to go to the File menu, and we have a feature specifically designed for saving our graphics for the web. So I'm going to choose Save for Web, and that's going to open up the Save for Web dialog box. Now, there's a couple of ways you can look at your content in this dialog. If I click the Original button, that's going to show me my original artwork. But if I click Optimized, this is going to show me the web-based version. Now, how do we know what web format it's saving to? Well, over here in the preset, this controls all the properties of how the web graphic is being created. Now, as a general rule of thumb, the GIF format is best used for areas of solid color in artwork. And the JPEG format is best used for areas of continuous tone color, such as a photograph. And then you have the PNG formats, which are newer formats. They're more powerful, they offer more options. However, they're not as compatible with older browsers. So you need to take a couple of things into consideration. And up here you have a preset drop-down menu. So there are a bunch of predefined presets to help you to choose the format and the settings for your particular artwork. So for example, if I choose GIF64 no dither, it's going to adjust the properties to that setting, and now you're viewing your artwork using those settings. You can use Command or Control plus and minus to zoom in on your artwork if you want, and you can see a better idea. Just so you can see the difference, if I were to choose, let's go with JPEG low, you see how there's quite a bit of difference when you're saving a graphic like this in the JPEG format compared to using the GIF format. So I'll go with like GIF32 no dither, and we can see how much cleaner that artwork looks. Now, another great feature is that I can click on the 2-up button, and that basically allows me to compare two different formats. So if I click on this one over here, I'm looking at the original piece of artwork, and if I click over here, I'm looking at the GIF version, as you can see up here. If I want to, I could click on the left one and say, well, what does this look like as a JPEG? And then I can click on this one and say, what does this one look like as GIF 32 no dither? And you can compare the two. One of the advantages of the GIF format is that it allows for a background transparency. You can actually drop this logo onto a colored background and the background will show through. In addition, the PNG formats offer an even higher level of transparency options when you're saving for the web. So let's say I wanted to go with the GIF32 no dither. You can see that we have a lot of options in here, such as the number of colors, what type of color reduction algorithm to use, whether we want to dither or not. So if I turn dithering on, such as diffusion, we're going to get a little bit of a pattern in there. So I'm going to leave that set to none. You can turn transparency on or off, depending on your needs. And then you can also resize the graphic as well, which is a great feature. So we could say, well, I want a web graphic that is, say, 400 pixels wide. And because I have this button turned on, it's going to keep the width and height proportional. So once you're comfortable with how this looks and you're satisfied, you can do a couple of things. Right down here, you can click on the preview button. And that is basically going to preview your artwork. I'm just going to drag this over so we can see this. We're going to preview this artwork in a web browser, and it's going to give me some HTML, what the HTML code looks like, and it also displays your settings right up here. And in addition, what you can do, you'll notice that down here at the bottom, it tells you the size of the graphic. So this one as a JPEG is about 3.6K, and this one as a GIF is about 4.8K. So once you're satisfied and you know which format you want to use, you want to click on the one when you're in 2-up view, click on the graphic you want to use, and click the Save button. And that will allow you to save this as the proper format. So I'm just going to put this in the Chapter 3 folder, and I'll call this Pluralist. For file format, you can choose Images Only, and I'll go ahead and click the Save button. And if I navigate to my desktop, we will see that in my Chapter 3 folder, I have this Pluralist GIF file that is the web format that we saved. As you can see, Illustrator makes saving files for the web easy while providing all of the controls that you could ever need. The next time you're tasked with creating artwork for the web, look no further than Illustrator.